In the vast silence of the cosmos, the vessel from Xylar made its discreet entry into Earth's orbit. The ship, a marvel of interstellar engineering, was designed for observation and study, not combat or intimidation. Its surfaces were coated with materials that absorbed light and radar, making it nearly invisible to the prying technologies of Earth. Aboard this vessel were the Xylarians, beings of intellect and curiosity, their forms slender and tall, with translucent skin that shimmered with a bioluminescent glow. Their eyes, large and multifaceted, were well adapted to the dim light of their home world but now flickered with the reflection of the blue planet below. Commander Lyr, the leader of the expedition, stood at the forefront of the observation deck, his gaze fixed on the swirling clouds of Earth. Initiate cloaking sequence and begin geosynchronous orbit over the North American continent, he instructed in a tone as smooth as the hum of the ship's engine. The crew, adept and silent, complied immediately, their movements synchronized and precise. As the ship stabilized in its orbit, Lyr turned to his second-in-command, Tyla, who was monitoring the atmospheric readings and human communications. Tyla, have the humans detected our presence? Lyr asked, his voice carrying a hint of concern. No, Commander. All systems function within parameters, and our cloaking is holding steady. We remain undetectable at this altitude, Tyla replied, her eyes scanning the data streams flowing across her screen. Excellent. Begin the surveillance protocols. Remember, our mission is to understand their societal structures and technologies. Their advancements in what they call medicine intrigue me the most. How they preserve life seems almost rudimentary, yet revered. Tyla nodded, her fingers dancing over the controls to deploy dozens of nano-drones, each no larger than a speck of dust, through the quantum teleporter to various locations on Earth. These drones were equipped with sensors and cameras, capable of transmitting real-time data back to the ship without detection. As the first images and data began to flow in, the Xylarians gathered around the holographic displays. Scenes of bustling city streets, quiet rural landscapes, and technological hubs flickered before them. The focus, however, was on the structures identified as hospitals, temples of healing, as some human cultures revered them. These hospitals are central to their communities, Lyr observed, his gaze analyzing a three-dimensional layout of a particularly large medical facility. They seem to place significant value on life, despite their many conflicts and contradictions. The crew watched as humans of various ages and health statuses entered and exited the facility, some walking on their own, others wheeled in on beds with wheels, what humans called gurneys. The emotion displayed on their faces ranged from deep worry to profound relief and joy. It is not just their technology we must understand, but their emotions related to it, Lyr mused. Prepare for our next phase, ground-level observation. We need to witness these miracle workers in action. Tyla entered new commands, and the ship prepared to send a small team, including Lyr and herself, to the surface. They would disguise their appearances using molecular alteration technology to blend in as humans, a necessary precaution for their mission's success. As the teleportation sequence began, the lights of the ship dimmed, and the air vibrated with the energy of transport. Lyr looked to his crew, their faces set with determination and curiosity. We go not as conquerors, but as learners, he stated solemnly. Let us find out why these humans hold their medical practitioners in such high esteem, and perhaps in their passion and care, we might discover aspects of our own selves long since forgotten on Xylar. With a final nod from Tyla, the team vanished in a shimmer of light, beginning their extraordinary exploration into the heart of human resilience and healing. The team materialized in a secluded alley near one of the busiest hospitals in a sprawling cityscape, their forms now completely human-like. Lyr, now appearing as a middle-aged man with distinct features, checked his device to ensure the molecular alteration was holding. Satisfied, he signaled to Tyla, who had assumed the appearance of a young nurse, to begin their mission. They walked toward the hospital, blending seamlessly with the crowd. Humans of all sorts rushed by, some wore expressions of deep concern, while others chatted on phones or clutched documents tightly. The human world was a cacophony of noises, colors, and emotions, overwhelming yet fascinating to the Xylarians. Inside the hospital, the sights and sounds intensified. Announcements echoed over the PA system, medical equipment beeped urgently, and the air was a mix of antiseptics and underlying anxiety. Tyla, using her adapted human senses, noted the intensity of emotions around her. Emotional resonance is high here. It seems that this environment amplifies human feelings, she whispered to LYR, who was busy observing a team of doctors consulting over a digital chart. Indeed, LYR murmured, notice how they communicate, not just through words but through body language. Touch, eye contact, nodding. Very different from our communication via bioluminescence and vibrations. They moved deeper into the hospital, watching as a nurse comforted a crying child, gently bandaging a scraped knee. A doctor explained a complex procedure to an elderly patient, using a model of the human heart as a visual aid, ensuring the patient's understanding and consent. Compassion. Empathy. They are not just treating the body but also the mind and, perhaps, what they call the spirit, Tyla noted, logging her observations. As they turned a corner, they arrived at the emergency department. The pace here was frenetic. Paramedics rushed in a patient on a stretcher, shouting vitals to the waiting team. LYR and Tyla paused to watch the orchestrated chaos. A young doctor, her hair pulled back in a tight bun, took command of the situation. Multiple injuries, possible internal bleeding, she called out as she examined the patient. We need to move fast. Prep or 3 immediately. LYR was impressed. Their technology may not be as advanced as ours, but their ability to make quick decisions under pressure is remarkable. This is their own form of high efficiency. The patient was swiftly wheeled away, and the team dispersed, each member moving on to the next crisis without hesitation. The Xylarians followed the young doctor, observing as she washed her hands meticulously before updating her notes on a digital device. Doctor, LYR approached her, adopting a gentle tone. I noticed your swift response with the patient just now. It's quite impressive. The doctor looked up, a slight frown on her face as she assessed LYR. Thank you. Every second counts in cases like these. Are you new here? I haven't seen you around. Yes, we're observers from a different medical program, interested in learning about various approaches to emergency medicine, LYR improvised smoothly. Ah, I see, the doctor replied, her expression softening. Well, you're welcome to shadow me, but I must warn you, it gets quite intense. We appreciate the opportunity, Tyla added, her voice warm. As they followed the doctor, witnessing several more critical interventions, the aliens' respect for human medical professionals grew. They saw firsthand how doctors and nurses navigated not only the technical aspects of medicine but also managed the emotional weight of their roles. Throughout the day, LYR and Tyla absorbed every detail, the steady hands of surgeons, the gentle explanations of pediatricians, the tireless movements of the nurses. Each observation added layers to their understanding of why these individuals were revered as miracle workers. As the sun set over the city, casting long shadows through the hospital windows, LYR and Tyla retreated to a quiet corner to discuss their findings. Their strength seems to lie in their resilience and adaptability, LYR concluded, traits that are nurtured by facing such daily challenges. Tyla nodded, her eyes thoughtful. And their ability to maintain hope and provide comfort under such pressure is indeed miraculous by their standards. With a wealth of new insights, they prepared to return to their ship, ready to delve deeper into the complexities of human medicine and emotion, a study far richer and more profound than they had anticipated. After their initial reconnaissance, LYR and Tyla returned to their cloak ship, hovering silently above Earth. The air inside the vessel was cool and quiet, a stark contrast to the bustling energy of the human hospital they had just left. The rest of the team awaited their return, eager to compile and discuss the findings from various global locations. As LYR and Tyla entered the main conference room, the soft glow of the ship's ambient lighting shifted subtly, reflecting the seriousness of their mission. The room was arranged in a circular fashion, fostering open communication and collaboration, essential for Xylarian discussions. "Let's begin our debriefing," LYR announced, his voice resonating slightly with the ship's internal acoustics. The team members activated their personal data streams, projecting holographic images and videos of human medical practices above the central table. First to report was Zahn, who had been observing a rural clinic in a developing country. "The contrast in technological availability is profound. Despite limited resources, human practitioners make do with what they have, often improvising solutions that, while primitive by our standards, are quite effective." Images flickered showing a doctor using a handheld diagnostic tool that seemed antiquated yet functional. Zahn highlighted the doctor's ability to diagnose and treat with such basic tools, emphasizing the human capacity for innovation under constraints. Next, Elio shared observations from a high-tech medical research facility in Asia. Here, technology interfaces more closely with medicine. Advanced robotics and AI assist in surgeries, and there's significant use of genetic therapies. However, the reliance on technology does not diminish the role of the human physician but rather enhances it. The footage displayed a robotic arm performing surgery, guided by a human surgeon, showcasing a seamless integration of human skill and robotic precision. Following the individual reports, Tyla took the floor to share their experiences at the emergency department. "Our findings indicate that human medicine values emotional intelligence and personal interaction as much as technical skill. There is a symbiotic relationship between technology and the human element, where one complements the other rather than replaces." As she spoke, the room displayed scenes from the hospital, the rush of nurses, the calm authority of doctors, and the grateful smiles of patients. These miracle workers are not just technicians, they are bearers of hope and comfort. LYR then synthesized the discussions. "It seems that the essence of what makes these humans miracle workers is their dedication to preserving life against odds that often seem insurmountable. Their ability to connect on a personal level, to reassure and empathize, even as they employ their technological tools, is what elevates their status in their society." The team pondered this synthesis, considering the implications for their own society, where technology often overshadowed personal interactions. "Let's also consider the societal support structures around these individuals," LYR continued, directing the team's focus toward the broader context. "Healthcare systems, insurance, governmental policies, and public perceptions all play roles in shaping the practice of medicine on Earth. These are as crucial to understand as the actions of individuals within the system." The team agreed to extend their observation period, aiming to gather more nuanced data on the interplay between medical technology, healthcare policies, and individual practitioner roles. "As we proceed," LYR concluded, "let's each focus on one aspect of this complex system. Zahn, you will look into the integration of traditional and modern practices. Elio, continue your analysis of technological applications in medicine. Tyla, delve deeper into the emotional and psychological aspects of medical practice." The team members nodded, their features set with renewed purpose. They understood that their mission was not only about technological or medical observation but about understanding a complex fabric of human resilience, empathy, and innovation. The meeting adjourned with a sense of accomplishment and anticipation. Each member of the team felt a deepened respect for the complexities of human life and the myriad ways in which this alien species struggled against, yet embraced, the fragility of existence. As they dispersed to their respective tasks, the ship hummed quietly, a silent witness to the profound journey of understanding that lay ahead. LYR stayed behind for a moment, looking out at the blue planet below, his thoughts mingling with the stars. This mission, he realized, was teaching them about more than just human medicine, it was a lesson in humanity itself. Back on Earth, LYR and Tyla, still in their human guises, returned to the bustling hospital environment. Their mission today was to observe a typical day in the emergency department, seeking a deeper understanding of how these medical teams managed acute crises. The day began quietly enough, but as with any emergency room, calm could shift to chaos in a heartbeat. It was mid-morning when the peace shattered. The sound of sirens heralded the arrival of an ambulance, and immediately, the emergency team sprang into action. LYR and Tyla positioned themselves unobtrusively to observe the unfolding drama. The patient was a young woman, her condition critical, brought in from a severe motor vehicle accident. She was unconscious, with multiple injuries visible. The medical team, a well-oiled machine, moved with precision and urgency, shouting out medical jargon that the Xylarians had come to recognize. BP's dropping, one of the nurses called out, hooking up in 4-line. Prep for a CT. I need to see the extent of internal injuries, directed the lead doctor, a tall, authoritative figure who had caught LYR's attention with his decisive manner. Tyla, using her device, recorded every action. Her focus was on the emotional dynamics of the team. Despite the stress, there was a palpable sense of unity and purpose among the humans. They worked together seamlessly, each member anticipating the other's needs, a testament to their extensive training and experience. LYR, meanwhile, was analyzing the medical technology in use. Despite his initial perception of their tools as primitive, he had grown to appreciate their effectiveness. The CT scanner was quickly wheeled over, and within minutes, images of the patient's internal structures appeared on the screens. The speed and efficiency were impressive, given the limitations of human technology. As the team assessed the scans, the lead doctor explained their findings to a worried man who had arrived, breathless, moments after the ambulance. He was the patient's husband, his face etched with fear and hope. She has internal bleeding in the abdomen, and there are fractures in her ribs and left arm, the doctor told him, his tone measured but compassionate. We need to operate immediately to stop the bleeding. It's risky, but it's her best chance. The husband, overwhelmed, nodded his understanding. Please, just save her, he whispered, his voice breaking. This interaction struck a chord with Tyla. The emotional exchange, the trust placed in the doctor by the husband, underscored the human element of medicine that Xylarians found so fascinating and alien. The patient was rushed to surgery, and LYR suggested they follow to observe. As they entered the operating theater, the atmosphere was tense. The surgical team was already prepped, each member focused and ready. The surgery was a delicate balancing act of speed and precision. The lead surgeon, guiding her team through the procedure, displayed a calm command that LYR noted as particularly effective. The surgical tools, though not as advanced as Xylarian equipment, were adeptly handled and served their purpose well. As the surgery progressed, complications arose. She's not responding to the blood transfusion, a technician reported, concern in his voice. Check for clotting factors. Push another unit of O-negative, the surgeon ordered without hesitation. Her decision-making was rapid, her every command precise and clear. Throughout the procedure, LYR and Tyla observed the intense focus and steady hands of the surgical team. It was a dance of technology and human skill, each step choreographed to the rhythms of beeping monitors and the surgeon's directives. After what seemed like hours but was merely 90 minutes, the surgeon finally straightened, her mask showing the trace of a relieved smile. Bleeding is controlled. She's stable. The team's collective sigh of relief was almost palpable, and even LYR felt a surge of admiration for their accomplishments under pressure. As the woman was moved to recovery, her husband, who had been waiting outside, rushed to the surgeon. His gratitude was immense, his relief tangible as he thanked her profusely. This moment crystallized the essence of what made these humans miracle workers in the eyes of their fellows. It wasn't just their medical skills, but their ability to restore hope, to fight against the odds with tools and talents that seemed so simple yet were wielded with extraordinary expertise. As LYR and Tyla left the hospital that evening, their data rich with new insights, they reflected on the profound human capacity for resilience and healing. This experience had not only provided them with valuable information for their study but had also touched them, showing the depth of compassion and dedication inherent in the practice of human medicine. After the intense observation of the emergency surgery, LYR and Tyla decided to explore another aspect of the hospital's operations, scheduled surgeries, where the environment was less chaotic but required an equal level of skill and precision. They hoped to understand better how preparation and technology combined in the less urgent but equally critical aspects of human medicine. On a crisp morning, they followed Dr. Elena Miles, the surgeon they had observed during the emergency procedure the day before. Today, she was scheduled to perform a complex neurosurgical operation to remove a brain tumor from a middle-aged man. The stakes were high, and the operation demanded the highest level of surgical expertise and technological integration. As they entered the operating theater, LYR noted the array of sophisticated equipment that filled the room. High-definition monitors displayed detailed images of the patient's brain, mapping out critical areas that must be avoided during surgery. An advanced neuronavigation system was set up, ready to guide the surgeon's hands with incredible precision. Dr. Miles greeted her team with a calm, assertive presence. "Good morning, everyone. We have a challenging procedure ahead, but I'm confident in our preparation and our team. Let's do our best for our patient." LYR and Tyla watched as the team donned their surgical attire. Each member of the team performed their roles with practiced ease, setting up equipment, reviewing the patient's medical charts, and preparing the surgical instruments. As the patient was wheeled in, Dr. Miles reviewed the plan once more with her team. "We'll be entering through the frontal lobe. The tumor is adjacent to areas controlling speech and motor functions, so we need to be extremely cautious. I'll be relying heavily on the neuronavigation and your steady assistance." The operation began with Dr. Miles making a careful incision, guided by the images on the screen. Her hands were steady, her focus absolute. The neuronavigation system showed a detailed 3D model of the brain, highlighting the tumor in bright colors against the critical regions in different hues. As the surgery progressed, Dr. Miles used a laser scalpel for precise cutting, minimizing damage to the surrounding brain tissues. LYR was impressed by the integration of technology and human skill. It was a dance between the two, each step meticulously choreographed. "Monitoring feedback, please," Dr. Miles requested calmly. "Feedback is stable, Dr. Miles. All vitals are within normal limits," one of the technicians reported. Tyla, observing the interactions, was struck by the trust and respect evident in the teamwork. It wasn't just the surgeon who was the miracle worker here, it was the entire team, each member playing a critical role in ensuring the patient's safety and the surgery's success. Midway through, Dr. Miles encountered an unexpected complication. The tumor had adhered more extensively to a critical area than the scans had indicated. "We're going to need to adjust our approach," she announced. "Let's switch to the ultrasonic aspirator. We'll need finer control here." The team adapted quickly, switching equipment and tactics without hesitation. LYR noted this adaptability as a key factor in human medical practice. Despite advanced planning and technology, the humans were prepared to face unexpected challenges head-on. After several tense hours, the tumor was successfully removed. Dr. Miles examined the area once more before closing. "Looks good. Let's begin closure," she declared, a trace of relief in her voice. As the team finished up, LYR and Tyla stepped back, their minds processing everything they had witnessed. The successful outcome was a testament to human medical prowess, certainly, but also to their ability to combine empathy, quick thinking, and technological aid in a balanced symphony of medical practice. Outside the operating room, the patient's family waited anxiously. Dr. Miles approached them with a gentle smile. "The surgery went well. We were able to remove the tumor completely." The family's reaction, a mixture of relief, gratitude, and tears, was deeply moving. LYR and Tyla understood now more than ever why these professionals were held in such high esteem. They were not just healers of the body, they were caretakers of hope, orchestrators of life-saving symphonies, each note played with precision and care. As they recorded their observations for transmission back to Xyler, both LYR and Tyla felt a profound respect for the human capacity to face life's most daunting challenges with grace and expertise. They knew these lessons would resonate far beyond the confines of their mission, offering insights not only into human technology and medicine but also into the indomitable human spirit. After witnessing the meticulous, intense atmosphere of the operating theater, LYR and Tyla shifted their focus to the postoperative care and recovery process, an equally vital part of the medical journey that often went unnoticed in grand narratives of medical miracles. The following day, they returned to the hospital to observe the recovery of the patient from the neurosurgery they had witnessed. The recovery ward, with its serene and watchful atmosphere, was a stark contrast to the urgency of the emergency room and the intense focus of the surgery suite. Here, the pace was slower, but every action was imbued with purpose and care. The patient, Mr. Harmon, lay in a specialized recovery unit, his condition closely monitored by a variety of machines that beeped softly in the background, creating a rhythmic soundtrack to the quiet buzz of the ward. Nurses moved in and out of his room with a gentle efficiency, checking his vital signs, administering medication, and updating his chart with meticulous care. Dr. Miles visited Mr. Harmon regularly, her presence bringing a sense of reassurance. "How are we feeling today, Mr. Harmon?" she asked during one of her visits, her tone warm yet professional. "I'm not sure," Mr. Harmon replied weakly, his voice barely above a whisper. "It feels like I'm not fully here yet." "That's entirely normal after the type of surgery you've had," Dr. Miles explained patiently. "Your brain is healing, and it might take some time for everything to feel normal again. But you're doing well, and all the signs are positive." This reassurance seemed to ease some of Mr. Harmon's anxiety, and he nodded slowly, absorbing her words. LYR and Tyla observed this interaction with interest. The psychological and emotional recovery was as critical as the physical, they noted. Human medicine did not merely aim to repair the body but also to restore the person's mental and emotional equilibrium. As they continued their observations, Tyla focused on the interactions between the nursing staff and the patients. She was particularly struck by a young nurse, Nurse Jenna, who seemed to have a soothing effect on everyone she cared for. Tyla watched as Nurse Jenna approached a patient who was visibly distressed, her approach gentle and her voice soft. "It's okay, you're safe here," Nurse Jenna reassured the patient, taking her hand and holding it comfortingly. "The pain might be bad now, but it will get better. We're here to make sure of that." The patient, an elderly woman recovering from hip replacement surgery, nodded and squeezed Nurse Jenna's hand, her expression softening. "Thank you, dear. I don't know what I'd do without you." These moments of care, often unseen and unsung, were crucial in the healing process. They reinforced the idea of medical staff as miracle workers not only for their skills in surgery but for their capacity to heal through compassion and empathy. Over the next few days, LYR and Tyla compiled extensive notes on the recovery processes, impressed by the comprehensive care system that managed everything from pain relief to emotional support. The human approach to recovery was holistic, addressing the spectrum of needs that patients exhibited post-surgery. One evening, as they reviewed their findings in a quiet corner of the hospital's garden, LYR reflected on the broader implications of their observations. The miracle of human medicine isn't just in the dramatic saves in surgery or the emergency room. It's equally present in these quiet moments of recovery, where healing happens not just through medicine, but through words and presence. Tyla agreed, adding, "It's about the restoration of normalcy and the reclamation of life, one small step at a time." The patience and dedication that these professionals show in every aspect of care highlight their role as healers in the truest sense. Their study was revealing layers of human strength and resilience, showing them that the true miracle of human medicine was woven through the many stages of medical care. Each phase, from emergency response to recovery, played a critical role in what was considered a miraculous outcome. As they prepared to share these insights with their own kind on Xyler, both LYR and Tyla knew that these lessons would transcend their original scientific objectives, offering profound reflections on the nature of care and compassion, universal values that were, perhaps, the true foundations of any advanced civilization. As the Xylerians' mission drew to a close, the final assembly was convened aboard their ship, now orbiting silently as Earth spun luminously below. The main conference room was alive with a palpable sense of anticipation and reflection. The crew, having spent weeks immersed in the intricacies of human medicine, gathered to consolidate their findings and prepare their comprehensive report to Xyler. Commander LYR stood at the forefront, his gaze sweeping across his team, each member now deeply changed by their experiences. This mission, he began, his voice resonant with the weight of their discoveries, has not only broadened our scientific horizons but has profoundly touched our understanding of empathy, compassion, and the human spirit. Let us share our final observations and consider their implications for our own society. Tyla, who had been deeply moved by her encounters, spoke first. Our initial objective was to understand the technological and procedural aspects of human medicine. However, what we discovered was far richer. The true essence of what makes these practitioners miracle workers lies in their dedication not only to healing the body but also to nurturing the spirit. They engage not just as healers, but as caretakers of hope. Elio, who had focused on technological integration in medicine, shared his insights next. While human technology may seem less advanced compared to ours, its application is profoundly effective. Humans use technology to enhance their natural empathy and intuition, creating a balanced synergy that allows them to achieve remarkable medical outcomes. Zahn, who had explored rural and less equipped medical facilities, added, the contrast in resources highlighted the human ability to innovate under constraints. This adaptability and resilience are something we can learn from. It speaks to a deeper strength within them, a strength that is perhaps the cornerstone of their ability to perform miracles. As each team member contributed their observations, a holistic picture emerged, one that intertwined technology, empathy, and resilience in a tapestry of medical practice that was uniquely human. The Xylurians realized that these qualities were not isolated to medicine but were pervasive throughout human culture, influencing various aspects of their civilization. LYR summarized the team's findings. Our journey among the humans has shown us the profound impact of empathy combined with skill. It is this blend that inspires their society to refer to their medical practitioners as miracle workers. Our own medical practices are highly advanced, but perhaps we have overlooked the importance of the emotional dimensions of caregiving. The team discussed how these insights could be integrated into Xylurian society, particularly focusing on enhancing the emotional competencies of their own medical practitioners. It's about more than just curing diseases, Tyla pointed out. It's about healing the whole individual, which includes their emotional and psychological well-being. LYR nodded, feeling a shift in his own perceptions. This mission has provided us with a valuable perspective that we must take back to Xylur. We need to foster a healthcare system that not only saves lives but also supports the emotional and psychological recovery of our citizens. As the meeting drew to a close, plans were made to present their findings to the Xylurian Council, proposing initiatives to incorporate emotional intelligence training for medical professionals and to study further the role of empathy in effective healing. The team prepared to depart from Earth, each member carrying with them not just data and observations, but a new appreciation for the complexities and depths of human life and culture. They had witnessed humanity's capacity to face adversity with hope and tenacity, qualities that they now understood were as crucial to the fabric of advanced civilization as any technology. As the Xylurian ship quietly slipped away from Earth's orbit, the blue planet receding into the backdrop of stars, LYR looked back one last time. Perhaps, he mused, the greatest miracle we discovered was the enduring power of the human spirit, a lesson we will carry forward into the future of our own world. This journey had not only expanded their scientific understanding but had also enriched their cultural and philosophical perspectives, promising to influence Xylurian society for generations to come.